We're on the ground in the thick of the action at the UAE Tour. This is the first time trial in a World Tour race where there's actually time trial bikes being used this year. And consequently, there's a lot of new bikes and tech that's breaking cover. I'm on the hunt for it, I'm going to find it, and I'm going to show it to you. Let's do it. The first thing that I've spotted is the bikes of UAE team Emirates, who are riding the Colnago TT1. This is the first time I've seen this bike in person. It was launched at the Tour de France last year to help Pogacar there, but seeing it in person, it is an incredible looking TT bike. It takes advantage of those changes in the UCI rules that meant that you could have deeper sections. So you can see the fork is like super deep and aero. And just all over this bike, it looks absolutely incredible. But what's really exciting about seeing them here is the new equipment changes that they've got at the team. So they're on Shimano group sets, they're on MV wheels. That looks really cool. But also these custom Data cockpits. So this is the bike of Jay Vine, and it is a size large. Just look at the amount of stack that he's got on his custom extensions here. These are all 3D printed as well from Data. So this part looks like it's composite, and then this part here looks to be 3D printed titanium, and you've got custom little grip shifters on the end. It looks amazing, and these also take advantage of the change in the UCI rules with where you can have your hands in a TT bike. It's very interesting. You've got ceramic speed bottom brackets on there as well, very nice. But if you look here, it points something out on the bike. So this particular bike, the TT1, is only available in 3 sizes, small, medium and large. This is a large. So it looks like some of the riders actually require an extra small. So Yates's bike over there it looks like he's riding a small but needs an extra small. And this one looks like it needs to be an extra large, because look at the amount of stack on those risers there and the amount of seat post. Something else they've got on these bikes is massive chain rings. So we've got 58 tooth Shimano outer rings, 58 44 that's on there. It's very flat round here, and these guys are very strong. So the other interesting thing is the tyre choice. UAE has switched onto Continental tyres this year. They were on Pirelli last year. And these are GP 5000 tyres on both the front and rear. A couple more things that I spotted on these UAE bikes is the bottles, which are amazing. So they go into a 3D printed bottle holder, but have you ever seen a bottle like that? So the bottle is designed to act as a fairing when integrated into the frame, and it just follows the line straight through onto the seat stays. It's an incredible bit of tech. I'm really impressed with that. Other thing I noticed, they're running tubeless on their tyres as well. There you go. Let's see what else we can find. We've got the team Ineos Pinarello Bolides for the time trial here. They look absolutely incredible. Some really interesting things though. They're running 11-speed Shimano on there, so the previous generation of the group set. I've heard some things that the 11-speed chains are a bit more efficient than 12-speed. I don't know if that's true, or whether or not it's just they haven't got hold of the 12-speed group sets for their time trial bikes yet. I'm not sure, but interesting. The other thing that they've got is just standard round extensions on all these TT bikes. In the past, we've seen Ineos at the forefront of using custom 3D printed extensions on their TT bikes. Not here though, which is quite interesting. There's a range of different sort of cockpits on offer though. There's all different bar shapes, so they've really have optimized their positions, and you've got different arm pads as well from various different brands. On the bike of Josh Tarling here, we've got Wattshop armrests here, but the Wattshop logos have been removed. Another really interesting detail is some of them are just using the standard Dura Ace TT brake lever with shifter buttons on. Other guys on the team, it must be according to rider preference, have had these modified. So on Tarling's bike here, you can see they've actually just glued on and bonded on some additional shifter buttons. That's because this new style shifter here only has the one button. So you have to normally have it on synchro shift so that it automatically swaps between the big and the small chainring. But by having two buttons on each side, you then have that control over the front mech, presumably. So that's why they've done it. But yeah, this is well, is it a hack? Is it a bodge? Let us know in the comments what you think of that. Other thing, tyres is interesting. So they're also running Continental tyres like UAE were, but they appear to be running a much wider tyre on the rear. So it looks like a 28, it might even be wider, really big. So presumably going for rolling resistance gains on the rear where aero is less important, and then a 25 on the front where it needs to be a bit narrower for that aerodynamics on these Princeton wheels. I'm up close and personal with the Movistar Canyon Speedmax CFRs. You'll have to excuse the noise because every man in his V8 is currently hooning it around the Las Marinas circuit. These bikes, I love them. I've got one of these. It's a TT bike that takes advantage of the changes in the UCI rules last year. So it's got a really deep fork on it, a bit like we saw on the TT1 Colnago. This is actually quite a bit slower than the UCI illegal version that the triathletes are allowed to use. So we don't have this section filled in here as a fairing. Instead, what we've got is just a standard bottle attached to the bike. They're running 858s on the front and the Zip Super 9 disc, the fastest wheel set that Zip makes, and they're running 25mm tyres, tubeless, on front and rear. No custom cockpits or extensions on here, it's all just standard round bars, although every rider has their own individual setup and different armrests. We're also seeing one-by systems being used on the bikes for this time trial, although an interesting detail is that some of the riders have chain catchers and some of them don't. So you can see on this particular bike, no chain catcher, and we've just got some black insulation tape covering where the front mech goes. You may remember in a recent tech show we pointed out the new UCI rule, which is every rider's bike has to be stickered with a number that corresponds to what size category they're in as a rider, because that has implications for how they can set up their bike, how long their time trial extensions can be, the angle of them and other things. And this is the first race where I've seen that in practice. So you can see on the bikes, they've all got this number sticker on. This one is a category 2 bike. I also fall into category 2, but little people have category 1. Check this out. I am pretty excited because I've been wanting to get up close and personal with this bike for a really long time. Oh no, that's not good. And now I finally have. I'm spotting lots of little cool details on it. It is the TT bike of one of the fastest time trialists in the world, Remco Evenepoel. Now, there's too much here to do this justice. So what I'm gonna do is a full separate pro bike video of this where I'm gonna go into all the detail. It's gonna be coming on the channel soon, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Big thing that, well, does stand out though straight away, that front wheel. That's an Aero Coach Titan. Very deep, one of the deepest, if not the deepest front wheel commercially available on the market. And that's why they're using it, because it's super aero. It's cool, isn't it? Jumbo Visma have performed very well in time trials over the last few years, and I've got my hands on Sepp Kuss's bike. He's one of the team leaders here at the UAE. He rides a 51 centimetre. I actually thought he rode a bigger bike than that, but this is his Cervélo P5. Some very interesting details on it. So he's running one by, and he's not winning the biggest chainring competition. So far, that's Remco Evenepoel with a 60 tooth. That's a 58 tooth, and he's also got this like wolf tooth chain catcher on there. Something else I've been paying close attention to on everyone's bikes is the wax chain test. Are they using a wax chain? Wax chain patrol? Yes, it's a waxed one. It's also, you can see little bits of wax in between the links. Good job, Jumbo Visma. Elsewhere on the bike, I mean, it's just got a very neat cockpit on this. It's not new, but just the way that this mono riser comes up, it's very slick, very neat. Also got a 140 rotor on the front, not a 160. Quite a few of the TT bikes doing this, presumably for that smaller frontal area, bit more aero. All in all, very nice bike. It's also got SRAM on it because, well, they've moved to SRAM this year, and the rather nice Speedplay aero pedals, 170 cranks. This is the Merida Time Warp TT bike of Bahrain Victorious' team leader Pello Bilbao. Now, this bike is different from that being used by the rest of the team. The first thing you notice is that it's got a matte frame finish rather than the gloss that's on the other team bikes. That's a weight-saving measure by having less lacquer on the frame. It's not saving a huge amount of weight, the mechanics tell me, but there's a few 100 grams there, which is Wow, pretty cool. Also, the other guys on the team have standard round extensions on their TT bikes, whereas Pello's got that very nice looking carbon fiber custom vision cockpit, which is perfectly matched anatomically to the shape of his wrist angle and his forearms. It looks very slick indeed. And there's also the little TT shifters are hidden underneath the little hand grips as well, which is quite an unusual place to have them. Normally they're on the top of the hand grip, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Other features on here, let's do the wax chain test. Yep, that's waxed. You can see there's wax deposits on the lower jockey wheel as well. Good job, Bahrain. The mechanics at Bahrain actually, I feel that they're some of the more forward-thinking mechanics in the pro peloton. Example would be Mohoric's drop a seat post last year at San Remo. That was unforgettable. But they are a team that I can tell are focusing on a lot of the details. Another interesting thing is the chainring, 58 tooth. The whole team is running 58 tooth on this, so no 60s here. And the magnet for the Shimano power meter. I've not seen this before because I've not been up close to the new time warp. But how nice is this? It's got a little recess underneath the chainstay guard where the magnet just fits in there. It was like it's meant to be there. It's designed for it. That's really cool, very neat. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for in this video, but there's a lot more hot tech here. So I'm going to keep continuing my hunt to find it. And not just TT bikes, there are road bikes here as well. So there's plenty of tech. So make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss that. I hope you've enjoyed this look at all the nerdy TT stuff because I absolutely love it. I love all the little details that make these bikes as fast as possible. So if you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe for more and I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.